How come I used to spend weeks on one edit while others seemed like they never even touched an editing software and still receive 100x or even 1,000 times the views than I did? The answer came to me in 7 lessons.
Lesson 1, get outside of your craft to learn your craft. When you start to learn on social media, YouTube, when you start watching all these other content creators, you get a little bit of inspiration, but you get a ton of envy and feelings of comparison. So go to art, go to photography, start a new skill. Me, if you can't tell, I'm out of breath. I'm horrible at skateboarding. Horrible at skateboarding. But it teaches me every time you get down, you get back up. You keep going even when it just feels like nothing's working out. If you go learn art, you're gonna learn the very intentional nature of every stroke. If you're gonna go learn how to cook, you're gonna learn how every single piece of the puzzle makes a big difference. Lesson 1, start learning something outside of content. Some of y'all who actually skate, y'all are like, that does not count whatsoever. I made a point of contact, even if it was a point, there was a point of contact, I call it a win. And next time, 1% better every day. When we watch content like MrBeast, Speed, or any of the creators that you naturally watch, you usually watch them for the content and not for the edit. Naturally, as creatives, we want people to recognize the art that we're able to create, and then we are looking for positive feedback on, yo, that was a sick edit. Whoa, that color grade, fire. But from the mass majority of people, they're not watching a video for the edit. They're watching it for the story. The edit is supposed to be invisible. So lesson 2 is the invisible edit. So when you edit, be intentional with every cut, every color, every effect is supposed to bring more attention to the story and to the message. Lesson 3 is the loop. Now, if we were to have an open loop, right? We have not closed this loop yet. This is a question. An open loop equals a question. But whenever we solve that, we close the loop. We have a full loop. Now, here's the thing. We don't want to have a full loop without opening another one. We never want to solve a problem before we present another one. Because the distance between your problem and your solution is what keeps people sticking around for the entirety of the video. You don't want to close this loop before you open another one. So what does this mean? We need constantly 2 unanswered questions at any given time. Now, how do you do this? This is just presenting another hook, a new tension point. Just present a question that you will answer in just a minute. Now, when do you close these loops? Because you don't want to keep one open for too long, because then people will get bored and they don't care about the answer anymore. So you need to constantly be opening and closing small loops, as well as having your main point of the entirety of the video. All right, so lesson 4 is advancing technology, right? So there's a lot of different technologies coming about. First, it was mirrorless cameras, I know. Then we had Premiere, we have DaVinci, we have all these different technologies that are advancing, and now we have what feels like a cuss word, we have AI. Now, AI is fine as long as you're using it in a way that is enhancing your creativity and not determining the direction. See, where I feel like a lot of people are messing up with AI is they will use AI to determine their direction and determine their story because they don't have any creative structure from their perspective. So when using AI, like
Being able to change the text where needed, expand environments, fit shot dynamics that weren't accounted for, or even take your story to a level you couldn't reach with a small budget. The tool I'm using for enhancement is Seedance 2.5 and Cinema Studio 4.0 within Higgsfield. Seedance is meant for people who utilize the hybrid production model, not simply letting AI run the show. And with these tools, you are going to be able to enhance the content you are already creating without harming the perspective you have.
If you want to check out Higgsfield, use it properly, check the link in the description, use Cinema Studio 4.0. Let me know what you think. Now on to lesson 5. Lesson 5 is basically going to hit a sense that no one ever thinks of for video editing, and that is sound design. Now, hear me out. When you're watching a video, there are only 2 ways that you can receive that video on YouTube right now, and that's visually, or audibly. So whenever we take audio out of the equation, we're only getting 50% of the quality we could be getting. Do me a favor, those headphones right behind you? Yeah, those. Put those on real quick. What do you hear? Nothing, right? Now, in some instances, this works beautifully. But in many instances, this completely takes you out of the scene that you were just in. When you take the audio away from your video, you are completely taking away the only other process at which people can consume your content. Now take them back off. You want to be able to hear the world. The viewer wants to know what the character is experiencing and what their perspective is. So when using sound design, be very intentional. Take double the time it takes for you to edit and put that same amount of time into the audio, into these small cars in the distance, the wind, the birds, even whenever there's motion happening, the whooshes, the impacts, the little granular ticks when you're twisting a knob. Pay attention to the sound. And if you can find a video interesting just by listening to it, then you've hit another side of quality that you weren't hitting before. Now, through the colors of our content, we are able to tell stories. Red introduces strong emotion, whether that's anger, love, extreme fear. Red shows extreme emotion and is the most used color for catching eyes. Blue stands for loyalty on the positive end and sadness and loneliness on the negative end. Orange stands for warmth and friendliness, but on the negative end can stand for dryness or heat. Green on the positive end stands for nature and organic elements, but on the negative end creates an eerie, sickly feeling. And every single color of the color wheel has a psychological story behind it. So when using your colors, don't just go with something that looks good, but also fits your story. Lesson 7 wasn't something I was able to grasp or even determine myself. It's actually the sole purpose as to how I was able to become a content creator, work with big names, and be able to truly create content that goes much further than analytics. It makes an impact. See, artificial intelligence and even our own intelligence can only take us so far. But when you put your perspective and when you put your root in the Father, in the kingdom, in the ultimate creator, you are able to receive supernatural intelligence. That sounds insane, but the creativity you see through my videos is not me. Half the time, I don't even know what I'm filming. I pray to God and ask for His creativity and that His will be done, and He's able to use me for His will.